It's a storming night. Our boy is rushing home through the downpour, thinking it's just another bad day, unaware that a life-changing encounter is about to unfold. Finally making it inside, our boy barely catches his breath before spotting a strange girl in the hallway. She's soaked to the bone and, surprisingly, clutching a sharp, ancient weapon. He initially assumes she's just a cosplayer, but the moment their eyes meet, he freezes. That cold, lethal intent is far too real, sending a chill through the entire hallway. Seeing her grip her weapon with such intense wariness, our boy is deeply unsettled. She's crouched by his door like a drawn bow, ready to strike at any moment. The standoff is nerve-wracking. As he nervously reaches for the lock, the girl unexpectedly recoils. Seizing the chance, he slips inside and slams the door shut. Safe in his own space, our boy finally breathes a sigh of relief. He strips off his wet clothes, grabs a cold drink from the fridge, and calls for his fat cat, Wintermelon. Chugging down a refreshing soda while watching Wintermelon munch on food helps his heart rate return to normal. He thinks this was just a weird episode and life will go back to normal. However, the rain only intensifies as thunder echoes over the city. Little does he know, the girl waiting outside is about to turn his quiet life completely upside down. With the heavy rain showing no signs of stopping, our boy heads outside to check on the stranger. He thought she had left, but finds her drenched and huddled in the corner, her eyes filled with wary suspicion. Seeing her in such a state, our boy tries to ease the tension by offering shelter and help to contact her family. However, Jiang-hee just stares him down, coldly demanding to know who he really is. Trying to lighten the mood, our guy jokingly calls himself a good Samaritan or Lei Feng. Unfortunately, the 1,000-year cultural gap causes the joke to fall flat, leaving them staring at each other in the rain. Hesitating over the offered umbrella, Jiang-hee identifies herself as a disciple of the Salt Gang. Our boy can't help but wonder if she's just a hardcore cosplayer stuck in some elaborate roleplay. Despite his doubts, seeing her shivering from the cold, our guy invites her inside. Clutching her weapon, Jiang-hee cautiously steps into the apartment, terrified by the strange, modern objects surrounding her. Just as our boy turns to make a call, chaos erupts. Terrified by the voices coming from the TV, Jiang-hee mistakes the glowing box for some evil sorcery and slashes it in half with a single blow. The sudden destruction leaves our guy completely stunned, and even Uncle Zhao on the phone is startled by the crash. Looking at the sparking wreckage, he finally realizes she truly has no concept of modern civilization. Heartbroken over his ruined TV, our boy is speechless as she solemnly asks where the people in the box escaped to. Realizing the sheer scale of her confusion, he decides to skip the police and investigate her origins first. Jiang-hee grips her sword, her red eyes filled with confusion and defensiveness. Seeing how serious she is, a wild thought strikes our boy. Could this sword woman from the Tang dynasty actually be the real deal? Facing the cold gleam of the sword, our boy tries to stay calm, backing away while urging the Tang warrior to put her weapon down. After all, no good person deserves a blade to the throat just for lending an umbrella. Once Jiang-hee finally sheathes her sword, our boy breathes a sigh of relief and starts pitching his good citizen credentials. Though wary, Jiang-hee suppresses her killing intent to survive in this strange new world. However, a millennium-wide gap isn't easily bridged. Our boy is completely baffled by her mention of His Highness. Looking at the mess in the living room, he decides he needs to figure out her background first. When Jiang-hee claims it's the 16th year of Kaiyuan, our boy is stunned. With trembling hands, he pulls out his phone to search, feeling this reality is wilder than any sci-fi movie. To confirm his suspicions, he tentatively mentions Li Bai and the Qinglian priest. Seeing the spark in Jiang-hee's eyes, our boy is fully convinced he's found a living piece of history. Just as they are talking, a knock from the delivery guy sends Jiang-hee reaching for her sword again. Panicked, our boy lunges forward to stop her before the delivery man becomes a casualty of the Tang dynasty. After struggling to explain delivery service, our boy returns with a bag of McDonald's, trying to tempt the ancient warrior with the burger. Jiang-hee stares at the modern food with deep suspicion. As they sit down to eat, a new misunderstanding arises. Jiang-hee looks at our boy's short hair and solemnly asks if he's a prisoner, since in the Tang dynasty, only convicts had short hair. Her logic nearly makes him choke. To ease her suspicion, our boy takes the first bite of the burger. Jiang-hee watches him skeptically, but the enticing aroma eventually wins her over, leading her to take her very first, cautious bite. Our boy explains that this is just a normal modern meal. Looking at the shiny, layered food in her hands, Jiang He's guarded expression slowly turns into a look of genuine wonder and curiosity. When it's time for a drink, things get tense again. Staring at the red soda can, Jiang He suspects a trap or an insult. She looks like she's ready to draw her sword at any second. As the soda fizzes, our boy starts sweating buckets. He has to explain that the explosive bubbles are just carbonation, not some deadly poison meant to take her out from the inside. To prove it's safe, our boy chugs the drink himself. Jiang He is absolutely stunned, watching him closely to see if he'll suddenly explode after consuming such a strange, bubbling concoction. Seizing the moment, our boy sets a hard rule: no more drawing swords in public. Even their fat cat, Donghua, is traumatized. Jiang He holds her blade, looking a bit conflicted but attentive. Exhausted by the cultural gap, our boy can't help but facepalm. However, his sincere explanation of laws and rules seems to reach her. Jiang He finally lowers her guard and softens her stance. Once she realizes the food is safe, Jiang He really goes for it. The unique sensation of the modern meal leaves her speechless, and her red eyes light up with pure, unadulterated joy. Our boy offers some food to the starving swordwoman, while setting some ground rules. He makes it clear that in the modern world, she absolutely cannot just draw her sword whenever she feels like it. The law is serious here. Though she hasn't dropped her guard, Jiang He is clearly overwhelmed by all the strange modern gadgets. Our boy patiently explains how things work, trying his best to help her feel secure in this alien city he calls the White Jade Capital. However, the harsh truth can't be avoided forever. With a serious expression, our boy asks Jiang He to take a seat, warning her to stay calm, because what he's about to say will completely shatter her worldview. You can't go back. It's been 1,200 years since your time. Seeing her freeze in shock, our boy feels for her. Her friends, her family, and the glory of the Tang dynasty have all turned into mere words in history books. A wave of loneliness and terror washes over Jiang He as she grips her sword as if it's her last lifeline. Our boy tries to comfort her with a gentle tone, hoping to help her understand that even though the world has changed, life must go on. Just as she reaches her breaking point, our boy brings out the ultimate healer, Donghua the fat cat. Petting the soft fluff helps Jiang He finally relax, and our boy promises that as long as she stays, he'll help her survive in this era. Feeling the warmth of the cat, Jiang He finally sheathes her sword, and their life together officially begins on a foundation of tentative trust. The future is uncertain, but this 1,000-year destiny has found a warm place to start. And so, our boy officially begins his daily life with his 1,000-year-old roommate. What kind of sparks will fly between a modern man and a Tang dynasty sword woman in this bustling city? Let's find out. Staring at this red-eyed girl, our boy is still a bit dazed, but there's no denying this 1,000-year encounter is real. And so, the story begins. Facing this guarded ancient warrior who's ready to draw her blade at any moment, our boy softens. He decides to take her in, regardless of the mystery. To ensure a peaceful coexistence, our boy quickly lays down the law. He explains that in this world, killing is a dead end and strictly forbidden. He emphasizes two main rules: no hurting people and no breaking the furniture. If she can follow these, he's willing to help her navigate modern life. Looking at the strange concrete jungle outside, Jiang He grips her blade, feeling lost. She realizes how much she stands out in this unfamiliar era. To show off modern magic, our guy pulls out his phone. To Jiang He, this small device looks dangerous, but to him, it's a portal to everything. Despite our boy's best efforts to explain, Jiang He remains on high alert. This clash of ancient instincts and modern living creates a tense yet funny vibe. After all that talk, hunger sets in. Our boy thinks about ordering takeout, but realizes he first needs to teach the dusty warrior about personal hygiene. The moment our boy leads her into the bathroom, Jiang He is startled. To her, this tiny room feels like a cellar filled with strange, hidden mechanisms. To ease her worries, our boy patiently demonstrates how to adjust the water temperature. Jiang He watches closely, treating every modern convenience like a miracle. While Jiang He finally starts her shower, our boy gets busy tidying up. Their life together has just begun, and he's already worrying over his unexpected guest. As our boy goes to drop off a towel, a lack of door-locking knowledge leads to an awkward moment. Teaching her about modern privacy will take some time. Finally, our boy hands over a red t-shirt with some cheesy text on it. The style is a bit weird, but at least the warrior won't have to sleep in her old rags. To avoid any more awkwardness, our boy patiently shows Jiang He how to lock the bathroom door, joking that he narrowly escaped a total disaster. Looking at his relieved but sweaty face, it's clear that the near miss had his heart racing too. While Jiang-hee is having a blast playing with soap bubbles in the tub, our boy collapses onto the sofa to catch his breath. Staring at the ceiling, the reality finally sinks in. He's actually living with an ancient warrior woman, and this isn't a dream. Taking a moment, our boy curiously weighs Jiang-hee's sword in his hands, surprised by its lethal heft. This is the real deal. He even wonders if his antique expert father would recognize this as a priceless relic from the past. When Jiang-hee finally emerges, she's rocking a red t-shirt that says Single Warrior, looking a bit confused by the modern fit. She leans in close to see what our boy is scribbling, curious about the way people write in this era. Our boy is busy drafting a to-do list for all the problems they need to solve. Noticing her puzzled stare, he rubs his neck awkwardly and offers a quick compliment on her outfit, which only makes the atmosphere a bit more bashful. Noticing her heavy old sandals, our boy kindly reminds her to switch to slippers, and makes a mental note to buy her some proper shoes tomorrow. This simple act of care leaves the Tang Dynasty warrior feeling a bit flustered and shy. The sudden arrival of a delivery guy breaks the silence. Jiang-hee instinctively grabs her sword, but our boy quickly calms her down. The smell of fresh food soon replaces the tension, proving once again that a good meal is the best universal language. At the dinner table, Jiang-hee reflects on her old sex teachings while savoring the modern flavors. Seeing her blush with satisfaction over the meal, our boy finally feels like things are starting to settle down. As the night deepens and the clock ticks, the two sit down for a real talk. With full stomachs and calm minds, our boy prepares to bridge the 1,000-year gap, while a glint of emotion in Jiang-hee's eyes suggests a heavy story is about to unfold. Facing a wary Jiang-hee, our boy patiently reasons with her, explaining that even with her high martial arts, she won't survive long in this era alone. To ease the tension, he demonstrates various harmless modern tools, and even pulls out his smartphone to show her the unique entertainment of this world. He assures Jiang-hee that his place is a safe haven. Seeing her nod tentatively, our boy finally breathes a sigh of relief as they establish some basic trust. Looking at the rainy city, he explains that while this is a peaceful era, it's incredibly dangerous for someone like her without any legal identity. Jiang-hee finally grasps the gravity of her situation. Without an ID card, her status here is even more precarious than a masterless servant in ancient times. Despite how surreal the situation is, our boy commits to helping her adapt. Though skeptical, Jiang-hee realizes she truly has nowhere else to go. He sternly warns her that modern surveillance is everywhere. If she uses her martial arts to fly over rooftops, she'll be exposed and beyond saving. Rule number 1. No drawing swords to threaten people. Facing this chatty yet sincere man, Jiang-hee decides to start opening up to his guidance. To ease the tension, our boy confesses he's been single for over 20 years. Hearing that he isn't married, Jiang-hee looks genuinely surprised, given how unusual that would be in her era. Sensing Jiang-hee's unease about being alone with him, our boy explains it's normal in the modern world. He then leads her to a spare room to give her a place to stay. Though the room is cluttered with storage, our boy finds some blankets and tells her to make do for the night. Watching him work, the ancient warrior's gaze softens with complex emotions. Before leaving, our boy admits his mind is a mess too, even hoping this might all be a dream. He finally introduces himself properly. "My name is Su Qing. Good night." Once the door closes, Jiang-hee sits alone in the dim room. Faced with this entirely alien era, she grips her sword tightly, her alertness making her look small on the modern bed. Meanwhile, Su Qing lies in bed, completely unable to sleep. Reflecting on finding a girl who claims to be from the Tang Dynasty and pulls a blade at every turn, it all feels more surreal than a movie. Amidst his wandering thoughts, he finally drifts off to sleep. No matter what life looks like when he wakes up, he just wants to clear his head and get some rest for now. It's 10 a.m. the next morning, and the phone alarm lights up on time. A new day begins, and that 1,000-year-old trouble is likely still waiting somewhere in his house. Our boy wakes up at 10 a.m., suddenly remembering the events of last night. Panicking that it might have all been a dream, he rushes out of bed to check. Stepping out, he finds Jiang-hee sitting upright on the sofa. She is still clutching her blade, her sharp gaze proving that yesterday was very much real. Facing the tension, our boy awkwardly scratches his head. He tries to play it cool with a smile while mentally figuring out how to handle this bizarre situation. After some small talk, he realizes it's almost noon. He kindly asks Jiang-hee if she's hungry, knowing that even a warrior needs to eat in the modern world. To his surprise, He pulls out some pieces of silver, asking if they'll work as currency. Our boy is speechless that money isn't going to work at any local shops. To get her ready for shopping, our boy lends her some spare clothes. The oversized t-shirt and rolled-up pants give the fierce warrior a surprisingly cute look. Freshly showered and ready to go, our boy takes He straight to a clothing store, planning to get her a proper modern wardrobe. After picking out a dress, our boy hits a major roadblock, the lingerie section. He's never felt more out of his element, breaking out in a nervous sweat. The harrowing shopping trip is finally over. Lugging the bags, our boy makes a stop at a bookstore to buy some guides to help her understand the modern era. After checking out, the two head back home. Though the bustling city is foreign to her, under our boy's guidance, her new life has officially begun. Our boy heads home with bags of supplies, but runs straight into his neighbor, Uncle Zhao. He awkwardly laughs off questions about his strange call from yesterday, desperate to keep his secret safe. The moment he opens the door, he's greeted by a hyper-vigilant He brandishing a blade. He quickly tells her to relax, explaining that modern life isn't nearly as dangerous as she thinks. To help the ancient sword woman settle in, our guy brings home daily necessities and a fresh meal. Surrounded by these strange modern items, He finally begins to let her guard down. During their chat, He earnestly asks if he qualifies as a young hero. The unexpected compliment catches our boy off guard, leaving him blushing and feeling a bit proud of himself. However, her table manners are anything but ladylike. While he imagined an elegant scene, the reality is a whirlwind of eating followed by a loud burp, showcasing her true warrior spirit. After dinner, it's time for a makeover. Our boy presents a dress, but the atmosphere turns incredibly awkward when he reveals a set of pink lace underwear, leaving them both mortified. Confused by this bizarre modern garment, He is lost for words. Flushing with embarrassment, our guy tells her she'll have to figure it out herself, or perhaps watch a tutorial online. Late at night, despite He's exhaustion, they sit down to talk. She's curious about our boy's social standing in this world, trying to understand where he fits into the hierarchy. After hearing him explain his freelance lifestyle and owning a home, He processes the information in her own way, eventually concluding that he must be a wealthy, powerful landlord. He flips through the book, gazing at the ancient ladies on the pages with a look of deep nostalgia. In this moment, memories of 1,000 years ago collide with her new reality. Our boy asks how she ended up here, learning she got lost in a forest before arriving. To ease the warrior's mind, he suggests she focus on settling in for now and worry about going back later. Mentioning martial arts gets our boy hyped. When he eagerly asks about her skills, He calmly notes that jumping from a 4-story window is nothing more than a simple task for her. Our boy's head is filled with legendary kung fu dreams, and he even hopes to learn a few moves. Unfortunately, He shuts him down quickly, telling him he's simply too old to start training. He strikes a stance to show the basics, her sharp energy sending our boy stumbling back. He tries to skip straight to swordplay, only to learn that without a foundation, he can't even lift the blade. Taking a chance while she's occupied, our boy tries to lift her ancient sword. Realizing it's impossibly heavy, he gives up instantly, deciding he's better off staying a regular citizen. To help her blend in, our boy gets her some modern clothes. Seeing her new look, he realizes he forgot to buy a hair tie, momentarily dazed by how stunning she actually looks. Later that night, as our boy works with his headphones on, a curious He peeks in. She's fascinated and confused by this metal box displaying images, especially when she sees herself on screen. Patiently, our boy teaches her how to use the computer, reminding her to take the learning process slowly. He clicks the mouse tentatively, beginning her journey into the modern digital world. Our boy is showing He the ropes of modern entertainment. Watching the action heroes on screen, He is filled with curiosity and can't help but ask about the skills of these masters. The flashy special effects on screen leave he completely stunned. She starts to think modern people are all immortals, her intense focus showing she's definitely mistaking technology for magic. Seeing how serious she is, our boy decides to show her even more over-the-top martial arts clips. Watching characters shatter rocks with their palms, this real-deal Tang Dynasty swordswoman is thrown into a full-blown existential crisis. As he earnestly analyzes the moves, our boy finally reveals the truth. It's all just special effects. Learning that these godly skills are completely fictional, he is left speechless, with a look of pure confusion. To break the ice, our boy looks up some traditional martial arts videos. Even though Jiang scoffs at the impractical moves, their back and forth about the differences between ancient and modern styles lightens the mood. Jiang is still skeptical of the lightness skill she sees on screen. Taking the opportunity, our boy tries to coax her into showing off some of her own real martial arts to see what the Salt Gang is truly capable of. Jiang hesitates at first, but finally stands up. With a swift movement, her sharp speed and blurry form are far more breathtaking than any flashy movie special effects could ever be. Our boy is absolutely floored by her moves and cheers wildly. Jiang coolly finishes her stance, reminding him that real training starts with meditation before walking out of the room, like a true master. But the coolness doesn't last long. As soon as she steps out, Jiang accidentally tramples one of Donghua the cat's toys. That one clumsy step shatters the ball, along with her aura of an untouchable sword woman. Alone in the room, Jiang remains on high alert. She habitually draws her blade, carefully scanning every corner of this strange, spacious modern apartment. Our boy is so exhausted that he crashes onto his bed, but even with his eyes closed, he can't stop thinking about how to handle the mysterious girl in the next room. A sudden noise startles our boy awake. Checking his phone, he realizes it's nearly 7 p.m. and decides it's high time to show Jiang the real world. Before heading out, he lays down the rules: watch more, talk less, and no sudden jumping. He even gives the ancient sword woman a quick lesson on how to take a selfie. He tries to get her to smile for the camera, but Jiang's forced expression is so intense that it turns a friendly selfie into a scene from a horror movie. To get her to lower her guard, our boy convinces her that everyone outside is as weak as he is, finally persuading her to leave her sword behind. They finally head out, but Jiang is like a startled kitten. She peeks cautiously from behind walls, treating every corner of the residential area as a potential threat. Seeing her get spooked by delivery bikes and modern noises, our boy quickly steps in to calm her down. Escorting an ancient warrior through the city is no easy task. Our boy takes Jiang out, only to bump into a nosy neighbor. The man starts prying about her identity and mentions seeing her with a massive blade yesterday, catching Su Qing off guard. To clear the air, our guy bluffs about cosplay culture, claiming the sword is just a prop. He quickly grabs the confused Jiang's hand and makes a strategic retreat before more questions pop up. Walking together at sunset, our boy mentions that his mom has already spotted her. Jiang remains serious and on guard like a true martial hero, making Su Qing realize how far they have to go. As cars zoom past, our guy explains that these iron boxes are the modern version of horse carriages. Jiang looks confused, likely imagining actual horses trapped inside the metal shells. Pointing at the street cameras, our boy warns her about these heavenly eyes. He explains that while they're usually ignored, any display of her martial arts would definitely draw unwanted attention. When Jiang picks up a small stone near a bench, our boy gets a mini heart attack. Fearing she's about to use it as a lethal projectile, he quickly steps in to prevent a public property disaster. Modern Life 101 starts at the crosswalk. Our guy takes teaching seriously, explaining the logic of traffic lights. It's a modern law that even a Tang Dynasty hero must follow, regardless of her skills. As she gets comfortable, Jiang begins exploring the shops. Her sharp crimson eyes soften with pure, girlish curiosity when she spots some cute pom-pom accessories on display. Watching the ancient hero try so hard to fit in, our boy can't help but smile, imagining her in those cute accessories. This time-traveling roommate situation is definitely getting more interesting. Our boy takes Jiang to a jewelry stall. Faced with rows of shimmering 5 yuan trinkets, the usually stoic sword woman finds herself completely mesmerized. Curious about these modern accessories, Jiang starts tinkering with them. After a slight mishap with a bracelet, she puts on a butterfly clip and looks absolutely dashing. As the sunset glows, our boy thinks the new look really suits her. He then leads her into a lively local eatery to get a real taste of modern city life. While our boy enthusiastically recommends his favorite childhood dishes, Jiang gazes at the sunset, seemingly lost in thought about this peaceful new world. The steaming food arrives quickly, taking Jiang by surprise. With a gentle nudge from our boy, she finally lets her guard down and starts digging in. They chat while they eat, and our boy feels a sense of relief seeing her adapt. They finish every last bite, enjoying a rare moment of genuine domestic harmony. Stepping out with full bellies, our boy jokes about the meal. Jiang doesn't say much, but her eyes show that she is starting to trust this strange new era. Back home, our boy reassures her that life here is about more than just surviving. As he describes the joys of modern life, her lingering anxiety finally begins to fade. Our boy is patiently guiding the confused Jianghe, reassuring her that as long as they keep her ancient origins a secret, she can explore this new world and live a happy, normal life. When Jianghe mentions wanting to go home, reality hits hard. Holding her hands, our boy gently tells her there's no way back. The 1,200-year gap is a chasm that even modern science can't bridge. Seeing the high-spirited swordswoman look so helpless on the sofa, our boy pets the cat while suggesting she first try to integrate into society. Only by blending in can they solve her identity crisis. Grateful for his help, Jianghe calls him a hero. This unexpected compliment catches our boy off guard, leaving him blushing and bashful, completely shattering his cool persona. Back to business, our boy emphasizes how crucial an identity is. Without one, you're stuck. He remembers a potential clue from yesterday and starts searching around the sofa for it. To make Jianghe realize the gravity of the situation, our boy describes the grim life of being undocumented. Jianghe has a lightbulb moment, thinking money and shelter solve everything, but he quickly corrects her. Our boy laments that this would have been easier 20 years ago. Now, it's complex. While her martial arts are impressive, such powers might actually draw unwanted attention in a law-abiding society. Finally, he tells Jianghe to start learning about this world by studying history. Though she's still a bit tense, our boy assures her that as long as she doesn't go around slashing things, she's welcome to stay. With the cat meowing in protest, our boy dives back into his laptop searching for a solution. He hasn't found anything useful yet, but he's determined to fix this identity crisis for his ancient guest. It's 10 a.m., and our boy is checking his phone when his old friend, Qin Hao, gives him a call. Qin Hao is now a local police officer, and the key to solving Jianghe's identity problem. Qin Hao hits him up on WeChat, saying it's been a while, and suggesting they grab some skewers tonight. Since this meeting is crucial for Jianghe's legal status, our guy knows he has to go. After his shower, our boy casually walks out with just a towel, only to run straight into Jianghe. He suddenly remembers he's not alone anymore, and this awkward encounter sends the tension through the roof. After our boy's hasty retreat, Jianghe begins adapting to modern habits, like using the shower. Watching this ancient warrior slowly blend into modern civilization shows that life is finally getting on track. To help her communicate, our guy introduces her to a digital writing tablet. It even recognizes traditional characters, which fascinates Jianghe. As they practice, their fat cat, Wintermelon, decides to join the fun. At feeding time, Jianghe is stunned by the concept of cat food, even wondering if it grows on special trees. Our boy chuckles as he explains it's manufactured, then hands her a modern fast food burger for dinner. Holding the strange burger, the kind-hearted Jianghe tries to share a bite with Wintermelon, but our boy stops her just in time. Fast food is definitely not healthy for cats. With the home front settled, he prepares to meet Qin Hao. Amidst this peaceful yet chaotic daily life, the city lights begin to flicker on. In this sprawling modern jungle, our boy is on the move, working to protect a secret that spans over 1,000 years. To help Jianghe adapt, our boy teaches her how to use a tablet and sets up an account so she can message him. After settling her in, he finally heads out, though still a bit worried. Our boy takes a bus to the night market, where his friend Qin Hao is already waiting. The lively roadside stall is the perfect place for two friends to grab some drinks and skewers. Qin Hao busily pours the beer, remarking on how long it's been since their last real talk. Over a table of side dishes, the atmosphere begins to lighten up between the two friends. As hot skewers arrive, they clink glasses. Qin Hao vents about his exhausting life as a police officer, admitting that the glory of the job is often buried under endless, mundane troubles. Qin Hao gets more animated as he recounts the bizarre disputes he deals with daily. He feels more like a frustrated referee than a detective, constantly mediating ridiculous arguments. Seizing the moment, our boy subtly asks about obtaining a residency permit. But at the mention of ID issues, Qin Hao's professional instincts kick in, and he instantly switches into work mode. While explaining police procedures, Qin Hao starts getting suspicious of our boy's odd questions. He slams the table, bluntly stating that his friend is acting extremely weird tonight. Under his friend's intense scrutiny, our boy stays calm while his mind races for an excuse. Keeping Jianghe's existence a secret is proving to be much harder than anticipated. Our boy is out grabbing skewers and drinks with his cop friend, Qin Hao. The conversation gets serious as Qin Hao warns him about the risks of sheltering someone with no identity, even mentioning a recent hospital escapee. Getting into the spirit of things, Jin Hao starts spinning wild theories about fugitives using plastic surgery and amnesia to hide. Our boy listens nervously, realizing just how dangerous his friend's professional intuition could be for Jianghe. A few drinks later, the formidable detective Jin Hao is completely wasted, babbling about solving major cases and making history. Our boy can only shake his head in amusement as his friend's grand ambitions dissolve into drunken snores. After settling the bill and seeing his friend off, our boy walks home through the quiet city night with takeout in hand. Despite Jin Hao's warnings, his heart feels light as his thoughts drift back to the girl waiting at home. Stepping inside, our boy freezes at the sight before him. Jianghe has fallen asleep on the sofa clutching the laptop, with the cat curled up beside her. Seeing her so peaceful and vulnerable, he feels a strange, new warm stir in his chest. Jianghe wakes up groggily and whispers a thank you. Feeling a bit flustered from being caught staring, our boy quickly acts cool and presents the late-night snacks and yogurt he brought back for her. Seeing Jianghe's curiosity, our boy solemnly teaches her an essential modern survival skill. You must lick the yogurt lid first. Sitting side by side in the midnight living room, they share a quirky, heartwarming moment over a simple cup of yogurt. During dinner, our boy Su Qing patiently teaches Jianghe how to eat skewers from the hot pot correctly, creating a warm and cozy atmosphere as they share the meal. After dinner, Su Qing notices that despite the late hour, Jianghe is still at the computer, diligently continuing her studies to adapt to this new world. Seeing Jianghe's diligence, Su Qing reflects on their improved living conditions and suggests she take a relaxing hot shower. However, the mention of shower triggers a flashback for Jianghe, vividly recalling her initial shock and confusion over modern undergarments. Flustered, Jianghe sits stiffly on the couch, her face flushed. Amused by her reaction, Su Qing decides to first teach her how to use the hairdryer. As it gets later, under Su Qing's guidance in the bathroom, Jianghe stares at the dress and high heels in her hands, filled with resistance and bewilderment towards such complicated clothing. In the end, she opts for a simple t-shirt. Experiencing a modern shower for the first time, she feels grateful for the warm water and convenience, counting herself lucky. Yet she knows she can't rely on Su Qing forever. Looking at her reflection on the glass door, Jianghe silently resolves to understand this world's rules on her own as soon as possible. Early in the morning, Su Qing's friend drops by and is surprised to find him up unusually early, casually greeting him as he watches the news. Su Qing explains he's just watching the news, not working for any authorities. They share a few lighthearted jokes, keeping the mood relaxed. Noticing Su Qing seems tired, his friend offers to go buy breakfast. Su Qing doesn't elaborate, simply replying with a brief, "It's okay." Just as his friend steps out, a neighbor calls him over, asking if he heard any strange noises last night, which reminds him of the vague commotion he half remembered. Meanwhile, inside the apartment, Su Qing, Jianghe, and their cat Donghua quietly celebrate their first lantern festival together in the modern world. The story begins with a bold declaration. Our boy Su Qing proudly introduces his wife Jianghe, the 1,000-year-old martial heroine, to the world. Standing calmly with her blade behind him, they embody a striking contrast of identities and eras. However, reality quickly rains on their parade. Zhao, the neighborhood security guard, stops Su Qing and nervously asks if he heard any strange noises the other night. Our guy immediately breaks into a cold sweat, hurriedly waving his hands and claiming he slept soundly and heard nothing. It's clearly more serious. The bald resident next to them chimes in with a grim expression, saying even his dog was trembling with fear those nights, suspecting a haunting and that their building might be stained. Uncle Zhao takes a deep drag of his cigarette and adds gravely, "I didn't see it, but the CCTV did." They all gather in the surveillance room to review the footage. The screen shows a terrifying scene from the dead of night, an incredibly agile dark figure parkouring at high speed across rooftops and between buildings. Faced with this unbelievable sight, everyone falls silent, leaving only the clicking of a mouse and an oppressive atmosphere in the room. As suspicion threatens to turn on him, Su Qing wipes his cold sweat and suggests another possibility. Maybe this ghost was just passing through? This guess is immediately met with an angry rebuttal from an auntie. Do ghosts these days go out for no reason? The tension rises, and in a panic, Su Qing blurts out a key question. Does any ghost go out for a stroll in the middle of the night? The scene shifts back home. Su Qing leans close to Jianghe, who's sitting on the sofa clinging to a last shred of hope, and cautiously asks, Do you? Her chibi expression, full of confusion and guilt, silently gives away the answer. When she asks in bewilderment, "How did you know?" Su Qing slumps onto the sofa in utter defeat. Su Qing tells Jiang he the CCTV captured all her late-night rooftop acrobatics, and now the whole neighborhood thinks there's a ghost haunting the area. Hearing this, Jiang he panics a little, but quickly explains she was wearing black and masked. Su Qing sighs deeply, pointing out the real issue is her unbelievable way of moving, which even a mask can't hide. Our resigned boy holds up a finger and begins setting modern ground rules for the 1,000-year-old heroine. First, go out with him. Second, while living here, absolutely no more relaxing workouts in the middle of the night. Su Qing stresses her special situation makes casual activity like at home extremely dangerous. Yet, Jiang he just looks confused, clearly having no idea she's already become the neighborhood's #1 urban legend. Seeing Jiang he's bewilderment, Su Qing frantically searches his phone for things like time traveler survival guides, while mentally rehearsing various catastrophic scenarios of identity exposure. He struggles to make her understand the seriousness of their current predicament. At that moment, Jiang he suddenly looks down, her expression turning somber and hesitant. She asks softly, "If I cause you too much trouble, can I?" It seems the martial heroine is starting to blame herself for potentially dragging Su Qing down. Jiang he is deep in thought, convinced that anything beneficial for martial arts training is worth pursuing. She eagerly gathers all the laundry and runs to our guy for approval, but her expression freezes into a sea of confusion when she spots the white undergarments in his basket. To move things along and cover the awkwardness, our guy quickly starts explaining the modern washing machine to Jianghe, assuring her it'll clean clothes more thoroughly than anything. Even cleaner than washing by hand. Before he can finish, Jianghe is already rushing back with another armful of stuff. Watching Jianghe toss everything into the machine, our guy asks, "Anything else?" But he freezes the moment he sees the last item in her hands. Before he can process what he's seeing, Jianghe's face flushes crimson. She flinches backward, and the garment in her hand ends up **** draped over her own face. That split second of misunderstanding and embarrassment triggers her martial artist reflexes to the max. To our guy's utter shock, she practically launches herself up the bathroom wall. After witnessing that baffling sequence, our guy falls deep into thought. He recalls the day Jianghe removed her shoes, and a sudden realization hits him. Her feet looked perfectly normal back then. To solve the mystery and avoid further disasters, our guy musters his courage and cautiously asks to see her feet, but his request is met with a firm, blushing refusal. A mortified cry of "scoundrel" is followed by a sharp yelp of pain. Our guy has officially been struck by justice, in the form of a rod. In a desperate attempt to restore order, our guy rubs his head and starts weaving an over-the-top, classic to modern compliment about Jianghe's innate and effortless beauty. However, his flowery speech only earns a cool, martial arts style review, 5 seconds to end the fight. Not bad. This crash course in modern living is turning out to be a severe test in both psychology and dodging skills. In order to help Jianghe pay off her debt through work, our boy is giving her a crash course on modern social etiquette. Puffing out his chest, he declares it's his duty, as a modern representative, to teach her these essential life skills. But the lesson gets off to a rocky start as Jianghe clutches her head in visible distress. The clash between her ancient sensibilities and modern manners is overwhelming. Spotting her struggle, our boy quickly leans in to console her, a bead of sweat already forming. Seeing her so flustered and confused, our boy can't resist teasing her a little, suggesting that to apologize to an unattractive creditor, one could say, "I can offer nothing but my body, heart, and soul." The moment those words leave his mouth, Jianghe's face flushes crimson in a mix of rage and mortification. She immediately bristles, fists clenched and ready to teach him a lesson. Realizing his joke went way too far, our boy panics and throws open his shirt to beg for forgiveness, hastily pivoting to a computer search on proper undergarment fitting to prove his intentions were purely educational. After much effort calming her down, the lesson resumes. Our boy tries to explain modern concepts of fashion freedom, that showing a midriff or arms isn't considered immoral. This liberating idea is too much for Jianghe to handle, and she fumes that it's simply indecent. Unfazed, our boy counters, if men can go shirtless, why can't women show a little skin at the waist? Seeing that logic alone won't work, our boy changes tactics. He guides Jianghe to the computer, deciding to show her the fun side of modern life instead. He tells her this miraculous computer can not only search for information but also play games. With that, he loads up the classic Super Mario title screen. Watching the flickering game screen, Jiang-hee's expression gradually shifts from displeasure to astonishment and wonder, her eyes lighting up with genuine curiosity. Next, our boy teaches her to play Bite the Landlord. Jiang-hee is instantly hooked, glued to the screen and barely remembering to eat, practically ready to declare her ascension to the 2D world. Watching from the side, our boy feels a complicated mix of pride and helpless amusement. As evening approaches and Jiang-hee is still engrossed in her digital battles, our boy stifles a yawn. Glancing at the girl's reflection in the mirror, he decides that with no urgent tasks at hand, he may as well catch an afternoon nap. Flopping onto his bed, he feels a wave of relief, thinking it's fortunate he hadn't secured a job that day. Otherwise, even if he passed the interview, his life would probably be turned upside down by an ancient heroine now obsessed with online games. Our boy lets out a tired yawn, realizing he just has to take things one step at a time. Since he's decided to help Jiang-hee adapt, the first priority is definitely a good meal. It's dinner time, so our guy suggests Jiang-hee change into something more casual and let her hair down to blend in. The suggestion catches her off guard, leaving her momentarily stunned. When Jiang-hee finally steps out in her new look, our boy is absolutely speechless. That unique, ancient charm mixed with modern clothes is a total knockout, making the air between them feel a bit electric. Determined to help his Tang Dynasty guests fully fit in, our boy starts seriously researching modern women's fashion on his phone. He's putting more effort into this than his actual job. Just as they head out to explore, they run into Uncle Zhao. Seeing him clutching a wooden stick for protection, our boy can only laugh awkwardly and try to breeze through the conversation. Strolling through the city streets at sunset, Jiang-hee is full of curiosity. Watching her look around at everything with wonder, our guy realizes that taking her out was definitely the right move. When Jiang-hee asks what a girlfriend is, our boy plays it safe and claims it just means a normal female friend. He's sweating internally, knowing how awkward things would get if he told the truth. Walking side by side as leaves drift down, they discuss the deep weight of history. Despite the 1,000-year gap, this quiet conversation seems to bring their hearts a little closer together. Stepping onto the modern city street for the first time, Jiang-hee was captivated by the kaleidoscopic sights. Her red eyes wide, she observed everything from the bustling crowds to the flashing neon signs, finding it both novel and cautiously intriguing. As she gazed up at the dazzling city lights, the safe urban nightscape felt utterly surreal to Jiang-hee, every glowing point shimmering like a dream, leaving her a little disoriented. Overwhelmed by the strange new world, Jiang-hee looked bewildered, while our boy Su-ching led her to a brightly lit bubble tea shop. This was Jiang-hee's first taste of bubble tea. The unique texture of the pearls and the sweet flavor made even this Tang Dynasty swordswoman's eyes widen, savoring the unprecedented sensation. As Jiang-hee sipped the novel drink, she curiously asked Su-ching, "Do these people make money like this? Can I learn too?" Our boy patiently explained that this was modern work, but her immediate priority was resolving her identity. Jiang-hee chewed on the chewy pearls. When Su-ching asked how it tasted, she unexpectedly touched her lips with a puzzled expression, admitting the flavor was a bit strange. To Jiang-hee's surprise, Su-ching agreed. He had assumed girls liked sweet things and ordered bubble tea for her, while his own drink was a sour-sweet flavor. Since Jiang-hee found the bubble tea odd, Su-ching suggested she try his lemon tea. With a hint of surprise, she took the straw, took a sip, and her eyes instantly lit up as she exclaimed, "Delicious." Seeing Jiang-hee liked it, our boy suggested they swap, sacrificing himself to drink her strange bubble tea. Jiang-hee was delighted, happily sipping her lemon tea, completely content. Finally, after a sweet ordeal at the night market, our boy was completely stuffed. Rubbing his belly, he let out a satisfied sigh, clearly having underestimated the size of those 2 drinks. However, the energetic Jiang-hee showed no signs of tiredness, instead suggesting they walk more to digest their food. Watching her lively figure, our boy could only hold his head in resignation, continuing their digestive journey. As night falls, our boy decides to take Jiang-hee somewhere fun. Looking at the iron beast known as the 123 bus, the ancient swordswoman has no idea she's about to start a magical journey across 1,000 years. Before boarding, our boy patiently shows her how to pay and tells her to just stay close. As the bus weaves through the city's neon lights, the warmth inside the cabin blends with the bustling night scenery outside. Though Jiang-hee tries to stay calm and even compares the bus to a carriage, her tense hands and the sweat on her brow betray her shock. Our boy is impressed her adaptability is better than he expected. They hop off at Lanjiang Bridge. Facing the dazzling lights, our boy points to the horizon, officially introducing the Tang Dynasty girl to a modern city knight. The sheer visual impact leaves her completely speechless. Leaning against the railing in the sea breeze, Jiang He finally asks if this is truly 1,000 years later. To her, this 1,200-year gap feels like a grand dream she can't wake up from. Our boy gently suggests she stay, promising to take her flying once she gets her ID. The marvels of modern technology are slowly reshaping Jiang He's entire understanding of the world. Though the future is distant, our boy already has a plan. Start by relearning the world in his small apartment, then find her own way to live. This steady companionship gives the traveler a huge sense of security. Spreading his arms to embrace the city's splendor, our boy is certain Jiang He will find something she loves here. On this magical night, the distance between their souls feels just a little bit closer. Against a backdrop of exploding fireworks, our boy patiently explains the wonders of this modern era. Though she arrived by accident, the dazzling city lights are starting to leave their mark on the Tang Dynasty warrior. Leaning against the railing, our boy encourages her to see the world on behalf of those from her past. Amidst the glowing lights, he offers a sincere welcome to the modern age. Back home, the reality of 2025 hits. Munching on a snack while scrolling through his phone, our boy feels the weight of daily life after all. Hiding someone without an ID is no easy feat. Seeing Jiang He's curiosity about the outside, our boy warns her that wandering without an ID is asking for trouble. His stressed expression says that all managing her situation is a massive headache. Over a burger, Jiang He wonders if modern people live in prison lives. Our boy laughs it off, explaining that staying indoors isn't captivity, it's just being a homebody, a very popular lifestyle choice. While our boy finds comfort at home, Jiang He still dreams of wandering. She wants to explore like she did in the past, unaware that the wild forests of her era have long since vanished. Facing Jiang He's earnestness, our boy delivers a reality check. In this world, martial arts won't pay the bills. Without an ID or money, she'd eventually be reduced to scavenging through trash. Realizing that without his help she might end up on the streets, Jiang He's eyes well up with tears. In an age where even a meal requires identification, the once proud warrior feels truly powerless. Our boy is patiently teaching Jiang He how to use money and take the bus. Though she feels a bit discouraged in this strange era, he gently reassures her that she's already making great progress. To help Jiang He settle in, our boy decides to find her a way to earn a living. Touched by his concern for her future, the pure-hearted Jiang He gratefully calls him her young hero. Seeing Jiang He's martial skills, our boy has a bright idea. Why not use them in online games? However, for someone from the Tang Dynasty, fighting on a screen is a concept far beyond her understanding. Before they can discuss further, a sudden knock at the door ruins the peace. Realizing it's a surprise visit from his family, our boy breaks into a cold sweat and hurries Jiang He into the bedroom. The visitor is our boy's stern father. As a veteran antique expert, he immediately goes into lecture mode, scolding his son about his unemployment and lackadaisical attitude toward life. As dad rants about his son's lack of a career, he sharply scrutinizes the apartment. Noticing the suspicious signs scattered around, his frown deepens, and the tension in the room skyrockets. To our boy's absolute horror, his dad notices the feminine traces in the room and reaches a wild conclusion. He suspects his son has developed a secret hobby for cross-dressing. With the misunderstanding spiraling out of control, our boy realizes he can't hide it anymore. Rather than letting his dad question his sanity, he quickly claims he's hosting a friend. Bracing himself, our boy knocks on the bedroom door, praying Jiang He doesn't blow it. As the door opens and Jiang He steps out, a truly awkward, cross-generational meeting officially begins. Facing his father's sudden visit, our boy is breaking a sweat. Even the powerful Jiang He is hiding behind the door, nervously wondering how she should address this elder. The old man was startled by Jiang He's near slip of the tongue and sternly told her to call him uncle. Fortunately, they finally met properly, easing the awkward tension just a bit. Though still stern, the father stopped giving Jiang He a hard time and let her retreat to her room. Our boy quickly pulls him aside, feeling more exhausted than if he'd fought a grandmaster. To prevent future surprise visits, our boy quickly secures the spare keys. But the father's suspicion remains as he snoops around the room, questioning Jiang He's actual age. The father thinks this cohabitation is scandalous, but our boy argues back, insisting he's just being helpful. When criticized for his career, he shows off his digital earnings. As the landlord, the father isn't buying it, insisting that without a stable job, rent must be paid on time or even increased. Our boy is left stunned by this classic tough love lecture. He's secured all according to plan. Despite the scolding, the secret is safe. As his father leaves with a dinner invite from mom, the crisis finally blows over for now. Our boy's latest surprises clearly didn't sit well with his father. Adjusting his glasses with a stern look, the old man started digging up the past, making the room incredibly tense. Sensing the tension, our boy frantically tried to explain, even making a bold claim about Tang Dynasty antiques. But under his father's piercing gaze, he started to lose his nerve. His father was almost amused by the absurdity, joking that he might as well claim Liu Bei made them. To him, it seemed our boy had spent too much time online and lost his mind. The conversation quickly shifted to work. When our boy called himself freelance, his father's blood pressure spiked. In his eyes, that was just a fancy word for being unemployed. You call this a job? His dad finally snapped, losing his temper completely. In the middle of the chaos, that strange staff became the center of a heated struggle. Breaking a cold sweat, our boy frantically explained it was just a toy. After some desperate pleading, his dad finally calmed down enough to inspect the item himself. Despite his harsh words, as the father gripped the heavy staff, his expression shifted. The weight and craftsmanship. Could this actually be more than just a toy? Our boy is getting a serious earful from his dad, who's waving a stick around and demanding he get a real job or at least apply for public service. Once his dad leaves, our boy inspects a sharp blade. Jiang-hee, peeking from behind the door, is visibly startled by the weapon's cold glint. To ease the tension, our boy sits down with Jiang-hee and the cat, teaching her modern social etiquette and how to properly address his parents as uncle and aunt. When Jiang-hee asks about martial arts practice, our boy flops onto the sofa, lamenting that in a peaceful society, training is both costly and impractical. To shift her focus, our boy decides to introduce her to gaming, believing that learning modern life should start with these small, everyday hobbies. While eating, our boy explains that gaming can actually be a job through power leveling. Jiang-hee is baffled by why anyone would pay others to play for them. Using a clever analogy, our boy finally helps her understand. Secretly, he figures making her a gamer is better than having her scare people at night. As they focus on the computer, Donghua the cat starts acting up, rubbing against their feet for attention. Life together is certainly getting lively. While Jiang-hee is busy at the computer, Donghua insists on being needy and eventually falls asleep on her lap. Looking at the fluffy cat, Jiang-hee feels an unexpected wave of warmth. The scene shifts to our guy's good friend, Qin Hao, a grassroots police officer, as a story about jinxing oneself begins to unfold. The police station is peaceful for now. Having finished his day's shift, Qin Hao is casually discussing dinner plans with his colleagues, unaware of the chaos ahead. Qin Hao speaks too soon. The moment he comments on how boring and quiet the day is, his colleagues freeze, and the emergency phones immediately start ringing. With no other choice, Qin Hao heads out into the night. In the patrol car, he deeply regrets his words. The veterans were right, never comment on a quiet shift. Late at night, Qin Hao and his partner arrive at a rundown neighborhood. Armed with flashlights, they carefully search the dim corridors to investigate the call. They expected a major case, but instead find a drunkard making a scene on the stairs. The overwhelming stench of alcohol makes Qin Hao grimace in disgust. Despite his frustration, Qin Hao remains professional. He knocks on the door and identifies himself, asking the residents to help deal with the mess. The police arrive late at night to investigate a disturbance. Although the woman tries to play it off as her husband's drunken antics, the officers aren't so easily convinced. Just as the police wrap up, a nearby alert pops up. Back at home, our boy catches a strange, subtle sound coming from the living room that shouldn't be there. Thinking Jiang-hee might be sleepwalking again, our boy decides to investigate. But as he peeks through the door, he's shocked to find a real-life burglar in the house. Before our boy can even react, the ever-vigilant Jiang-hee springs into action. The Tang Dynasty warrior shows no mercy, tackling the intruder with explosive force. Jiang-hee pins the thief to the floor with a lethal grip. Fearing she might actually kill him, our boy quickly steps in to stop her before things take a fatal turn. The unlucky thief is left trembling in terror, with deep bruises already forming on his arms. While keeping a firm eye on him, our boy starts planning his next move. The burglar drops to his knees, begging for mercy. He never expected that a simple robbery would lead him straight into the hands of a martial arts master. Our boy lectures the thief while making the call. He's caught the culprit, but now he faces the real challenge, explaining Jiang-hee's identity to the police. Faced with the thief's desperate pleas, our boy remains calm. The intruder is clearly terrified, kneeling and begging for mercy, having lost all his initial bravado. Seeing the thief prostrate on the floor, our boy doesn't rush to call the police. He needs to stay calm, knowing that Jianghe's undocumented status makes things complicated. To avoid a police investigation that could expose Jianghe, our boy decides to let the unlucky thief go, ordering him to vanish and never show his face again. Relieved to be set free, the thief thanks them and leaps out the window. Our boy watches him flee, successfully averting a crisis that could have alerted the neighborhood. Jianghe is confused about letting the thief go. Our boy explains that a police report would reveal her illegal status, leaving her stunned by the complexities of modern law. Noticing Jianghe's tension, our boy gives a reassuring smile and tells her to get some rest. He knows that teaching her the rules of survival is a long journey. As the night deepens, the living room finally returns to silence. Our boy turns off the lights, and they head to their rooms, their bond strengthened by the night's events. After washing up, our boy notices that Jianghe isn't sleeping yet. She's busy practicing her martial arts. Even here, this ancient warrior never lets her guard down. Witnessing Jianghe's extraordinary martial prowess, our boy Su Qin was both surprised and thrilled. Knowing she was a true master, he playfully urged her not to hold back her incredible skills. At the same time, another friend of our boy was astonished by one of Jianghe's choices, remarking how easily she accepted it. He then mused that Jianghe was truly peculiar, as both accepting and refusing seemed to be problematic for her. A new chapter unfolds. Amidst the quirks and challenges of modern life, the extraordinary cohabitation of Tang Dynasty martial artist Jianghe and our boy Su Qin continues. To ensure Jianghe wouldn't overdo it with another thief, our boy patiently explained, "You can subdue bad guys, but never use excessive force." Jianghe, however, innocently replied that she had already reined in much of her strength. Our boy was stunned. Did that mean she was actually considering taking the thief's life last night? He quickly emphasized that no matter how bad someone's intentions, in modern society, it must be handled by the law. Harming someone's life would cause immense trouble. Faced with Jianghe's extraordinary power, our boy could only helplessly advise her against misusing it. To his surprise, Jianghe earnestly countered, if someone like him were to sneak into her room in the middle of the night, how much force would she be allowed to use? Our boy immediately broke into a cold sweat, utterly bewildered by Jianghe's question. His face flushed with indignation, as he vehemently declared he was not that kind of person. He was an exemplary and upright young man. However, Jianghe crossed her arms, her gaze serious, apparently not entirely convinced by our boy. She simply replied calmly, "I'll believe you for now." Upon hearing that, our boy completely lost it, agitatedly demanding to know what "for now" implied. But then, his thoughts shifted, and he suddenly wondered, how did Jianghe even get the strange idea that he would sneak into her room? He quickly, and guiltily, explained he'd merely retrieved her old shoes from the trash and absolutely had no other intentions. His explanation only made Jianghe's gaze more knowing, causing cold sweat to break out on our boy's forehead. He quickly feigned a relaxed joke, "That was just a jest. You know how weak I am." Just as their trust crisis conversation drew to a close, our boy and Jianghe seemed to encounter something. They stopped, and he pointed ahead, as if a new destination or trouble awaited them. At the breakfast diner, our guy and his friend order the usual portion for two just like they always do. Meanwhile, the girl from ancient times solemnly beholds this thriving world where there is no need to kill anyone with a sword. When the steaming buns are actually placed right in front of her, she just freezes, staring at this abundance of food she's never seen before. Finally, she takes a tentative bite, and a blush instantly spreads across her face, as if she's bathed in a golden halo of happiness. Watching her bury her head in earnest as she eats, even the friend next to our guy breaks into a satisfied smile, thinking to himself, who could have guessed this bun-devouring girl was actually Jianghe quickly calculates how much more she can eat, while seriously asking how to get more food. Our guy smiles, and assures her it's no problem, telling her to eat her fill while he goes to pay the bill. So Jianghe decisively walks to the counter, and, under our guy's slightly sheepish gaze, orders 15 buns to go. Seeing the staggering amount, our guy quickly asks if she can really finish all that. Noting his surprise, Jianghe immediately grows a bit anxious, clasping her hands and softly asking if she ordered too much. Hurriedly waving to reassure her, our boy explains it's not the cost, but that eating too much in public might attract unwanted attention. He offers a compromise, have a normal portion outside, and we'll take some home for you to continue enjoying later. Bill paid, the two walk home carrying a heavy bag of buns. Looking at the warrior girl beside him, amazed by everything, our guy makes a promise. He'll definitely take her to a buffet one day. Upon hearing the description of, "Pay some money, and you can take and eat any food you wish until you're full," Jiang-hee stares wide-eyed in shock, exclamation marks practically popping over her head, unable to believe such a wonderful place exists. To help our Tang Dynasty girl adapt, our boy patiently explains that modern work is more about brainpower, much like an emperor managing affairs. He grabs some buns for her, reminding her to keep her identity a secret for now. Our boy gives her an encouraging thumbs up as she tries to process it all. 2 days pass by, and he decides it's finally time to introduce her to the ultimate modern survival tool. He hands Jiang-hee a smartphone, claiming it was a free gift, so she wouldn't feel burdened. Surprised by this mysterious magical tool, she calls him a young hero, which honestly catches him off guard. Watching her clumsily figure out the phone, our boy feels like he's playing a real-life simulation game. He teaches her how to make calls, feeling a sense of achievement as if he's completing a main quest. Before leaving, he suggests she watch some videos or play games if she gets bored. Holding the phone, Jiang-hee starts to wonder if controlling these tiny characters on the screen actually counts as work. After settling things at home, our boy finally heads back to his parents' place. Upon entering, he's greeted by his father, but notices his mom is missing. Turns out she's still out playing mahjong. As his father stays busy, our boy helps tidy up. Since it's getting late, his dad tells him to give his mom a call and see when the mahjong master plans on coming home for dinner. Facing his father's relentless questioning, our boy tries his best to claim Jiang-hee is just a roommate. However, even he feels awkward and breaks into a cold sweat. To change the subject, his dad tells him to call his mom. But it turns out she's too busy playing mahjong to worry about her son's daily drama. Our guy mentions the recent break-in to ask for a reimbursement. His dad isn't worried, joking that no one could steal the computer his son treats like a wife. Our boy brags about beating up the burglar, though he knows the truth. Despite his tough act, his dad is genuinely concerned if he got hurt during the encounter. Just then, Mom arrives with groceries, ready to whip up a feast. Unlike the stern father, she's much more cheerful and immediately gets to work in the kitchen. At the dinner table, the girlfriend topic resurfaces. His dad lists all the evidence living together and sharing chores, leaving our boy completely speechless. Unable to dodge Mom's curiosity, our boy finally gives in and shows her a photo of Jiang-hee. One look at the screen, and Mom is instantly dazzled. Looking at photos of Jiang-hee at the bridge and with the cat, Mom is thrilled. While she's basically planning the wedding, our boy can only bury his face in his rice. Our boy gets caught red-handed with photos of Jiang-hee and tries to pass them off as antique observation logs. But his mom isn't buying it, scrolling through the pictures as if she's already picked out her future daughter-in-law. At dinner, Mom goes into full interrogation mode, wondering why such a young-looking girl isn't in school. Our guy has to watch every word to keep her mysterious background a secret. As his parents grow more suspicious, our boy quickly deflects with jokes. Meanwhile, Jiang-hee is still replaying her recent heroic moments in her head, feeling the sharp contrast between being a warrior and her new modern life. Back in the room, seeing a blushing and shy Jiang-hee, our boy starts daydreaming. He even musters up the courage to ask a burning question: does practicing martial arts actually have beauty benefits? Jiang-hee is baffled, arguing that a life outdoors shouldn't leave her skin this delicate, despite how flawless she looks. Breaking the tension, our guy pulls out a hairdryer to teach the swordswoman a new modern trick. As they stand close for the hairdryer demo, you can almost hear their hearts racing. Jiang-hee is nervous but stays still, prompting our boy to reflect on how modern peace has made ancient skills feel like relics of the past. The heartwarming lesson is cut short when Jiang-hee suddenly panics. She catches a glimpse of a neighbor wearing a face mask and, thinking she's seen a terrifying ghost, immediately grips her weapon in a defensive stance. Late at night, Jiang-hee is clutching a hairdryer like a weapon. Our boy leans in, remarking on how long her hair has grown, but her tense expression suggests something is bothering her. Sure enough, Jiang-hee starts describing a ghostly figure she saw, pale and dressed in strange robes. Our guy quickly cuts her off, trying to stay rational and telling her to trust in science. To lighten the mood, our boy explains why ghosts aren't real while helping her dry her hair. But even the warm breeze of modern tech can't blow away the ancient swordswoman's fear. Despite his reasoning, Jiang He remains deadly serious, even wondering if her sword could wound a ghost. Looking into her guarded eyes, our boy starts to feel a chill down his own spine. When Jiang He mentions getting a peach with sword for protection, our boy doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. He decides to just play along to keep the heroine calm for now. After convincing her to rest, our boy heads for a shower only to find himself spooked. With Jiang He's stories stuck in his head, he finishes way faster than usual, afraid to look behind him. Living together is definitely livelier, but the scares are doubled too. Seeing Jiang He lost in thought reminds our boy that helping her integrate into the modern world will be quite the journey. Jiang He kneels in the room, clutching the outfit she wore from the Tang dynasty, her expression a mixture of nostalgia and nervousness as she murmurs to herself, seemingly reminiscing about someone from her past. Her thoughts drift back to the past, recalling her strict martial arts master forcing her to practice through pain. This memory makes her subconsciously tighten her grip on the rod beside her. Just then, there's a soft knock at the door. Su Qing's young roommate, the gray-haired boy, enters nervously holding a laptop. The screen displays a photo of Jiang He herself, sourced from a website with a very suspicious-sounding name. Our boy quickly steps in to try and explain, urging the nervous boy to be quiet, and even improvising a story about having already sealed the evil spirit away, which finally calms his roommate down for the moment. The next morning, Jiang He's first reaction upon waking is a touch of disappointment. She deliberately left the door open, waiting for the fabricated ghost to watch her practice her swordsmanship, but it never showed up. Su Qing gets up, and they meet in the living room. Our boy greets her casually, while silently calculating that her temporary undocumented status shouldn't be a huge problem after all. She's good-looking, which might help her get through any random checks. Looking at Su Qing, Jiang He suddenly has a strange question. She asks with utmost seriousness, "Your superior must be a burly man with a thick beard and strong muscles, right? So why don't you have a beard yourself?" This millennia-spanning misunderstanding leads Jiang He down a rabbit hole of wild thoughts, even wondering if Su Qing might share similarities with ancient eunuchs. Su Qing can only helplessly and amusedly clarify, over and over, that he's just a normal modern guy who uses an electric razor. To end the great beard debate, Su Qing decisively changes the subject, suggesting they go out for lunch. But Jiang He remembers her phone and asks with concern if she broke the precious device when she dropped it the night before. Su Qing easily explains it's just out of battery, and promptly charges it with a power bank before heading out with her. It seems this duo from across a millennium is about to tackle another day of novel modern city life together. The scene changes, showing Officer Qin how exhausted after a long day, finally arriving home. His father, lounging on the sofa, immediately asks him about catching a thief the previous night. While deflecting his father's questions, Qin Hao digs out leftover porridge and a steamed bun, utterly famished. However, his father's tone shifts, angrily questioning why even Su Qing, who isn't a cop, managed to catch a thief, while his own police officer son hasn't. Qin Hao freezes, mouthful of bun forgotten. He's completely unaware of Su Qing catching a thief and presses his father for details, with a mix of shock and confusion on his face. Upon hearing the story, Qin Hao's temper flares, ready to call and reprimand Su Qing for acting out of line. But his father delivers a masterful blow, casually remarking how easy it must be for a tall, handsome guy like Su Qing to find a girlfriend. The topic instantly veers from law and order to life's milestones. Qin Hao's father relentlessly presses the point, comparing him unfavorably. Desperate to divert the focus, Qin Hao starts making excuses about his busy work schedule and lack of time, nearly choking on his food in the process. Finally, backed into a corner by his father's nagging, Officer Qin makes a desperate boast. He'll bring home a policewoman as his girlfriend to prove his worth. This bold declaration fully ignites his father's temper. Qin's father, waving a spatula, chases his son around, thoroughly unconvinced. Amidst the domestic chaos, Qin Hao can only dodge with his bowl in hand. Meanwhile, our boy Su Qing is heading home with Jiang He. As our boy steps inside, he receives a call from friend Wang Zixuan, inviting him for a night out. Listening curiously nearby, Jiang He hears Su Qing say he'll take her to see the world and have fun. The Tang Dynasty heroine's face shows a mix of innocent curiosity and utter confusion. Before the KTV gathering, our boy patiently reminds the girl that this is just a little game to experience modern life and stresses that all actions must follow his hand signals. Though a bit confused, she obediently nods in agreement. Recalling the girl's doubts about the strange techniques in movies like Ghost, Our boy smooths Dongwa's fur and explains that it's not strange at all, just a way people express emotions. To help her understand, our boy gives another example. Just like a storyteller in a tea house, it's also a kind of communication job. There are always people willing to pay for your ability to solve problems. As he speaks, our boy hands her a canned drink. Curious, she tries to imitate how she saw it done before, preparing to pull the tab. At the gathering, the atmosphere gradually heats up. Singing passionately, someone accidentally sprays their drink everywhere, making everyone laugh heartily. Inside the private room, lights flicker and singing rises and falls. Everyone takes turns singing, sitting or standing, immersing themselves in the atmosphere of music and friendship. However, having never been in such a noisy environment, the girl is clearly overwhelmed. She shrinks into the corner of the sofa, looking stiff and uneasy, even with traces of anxious tears on her face. Our boy notices her distress and leans closer to ask what's wrong, adding that it's too noisy here to hear without speaking up. He tries to help her relax, handing her some snacks and softly reassuring her not to mind others if she's hungry. She can eat something first. After tasting it, a bit of life finally returns to her tense little face. She quietly tells our boy that it's really tasty. Seeing her mood improve, our boy smiles and encourages her to loosen up a bit. In a place like KTV, no one pays excessive attention to others. Just then, friends come over to offer enthusiastic toasts. Our boy joins in the high-spirited atmosphere with gusto, tipping his head back for a draft. After drinking, he turns with a relaxed smile to the still somewhat timid girl beside him, seemingly ready to continue guiding her into this lively night. But for now, the girl's gaze is fixed on the bottle in his hand. Our boy, seeing this ancient woman, earnestly warned her to protect herself outside and not to drink casually. However, Jiang He confidently stated she had drunk before and wouldn't get drunk, but our boy knew the alcohol here was different from what she was used to. Faced with Jiang He's sparkling eyes full of curiosity, our boy couldn't resist. He reluctantly compromised, carefully pouring just a tiny bit, repeatedly warning her, "Only a small taste." Jiang He carefully took a sip, and our boy nervously watched her reaction, wondering if this strong alcohol would suit her taste. To his surprise, Jiang He calmly stated, "It's not good," which completely stunned our boy. He asked in disbelief, "What did you say?" Just then, Jiang He seemed to feel the alcohol, leaning slightly closer to our boy. Meanwhile, the friends in the private room were still happily drinking and singing, oblivious to the small situation unfolding beside them. Our boy tried to stay sober, looking helplessly at the seemingly tipsy Jiang He, while trying to figure out how to diffuse the awkwardness in front of everyone. Meanwhile, friends noticed Jiang He and started asking our boy, "Is she your girlfriend? Why haven't you introduced her?" Jiang He stood by, teary-eyed and flushed, looking at the cup in her hands. Our boy quickly waved his hands, denying it and nervously introducing Jiang He as just a normal friend from the village, trying to get away with it. But his friend Wang Zixuan clearly wasn't going to let him off the hook. Wang Zixuan, with a mischievous grin, began roasting our boy, first boasting about his height and looks, and finally declaring, "I have money." It seemed he was trying to make a good impression on Jiang He. Amidst the chatter, some eagerly urged to start picking songs, while others suggested waiting for latecomers and wetting their throats. Jiang He, meanwhile, continued to quietly hold her cup. The KTV room was bustling with noise and excitement, and our boy could only reluctantly join in. Jiang He, meanwhile, quietly observed, realizing that such modern gathering places could indeed bring people closer. Everyone came with different intentions, truly a peculiar place. Surrounded by a spread of KTV snacks, our boy looks genuinely surprised by the treats. Meanwhile, Jiang He stares curiously at her drink and politely asks for help peeling the fruit, creating a hilarious clash between ancient manners and modern life. Noticing Jiang He's growing interest in the karaoke machine, our boy playfully shoots down the idea. To save her from the overwhelming noise, he jokingly tells her to sit back and watch the experts perform instead of taking the mic herself.